Hey, thanks for coming back for part three of Russell Brunson's Selling Online. Okay, so we left off right here. It's no secret. So let's just look at the page up until this point. So we got the headline, we got the little presentation. You got a call to action. You got some testimonials. You got a big visual. I mean, he talks about this in the video where he sells to 9,000 people. All right, then we got this headline right here. He's going to sell us, he's going to teach us persuasion, sales persuasion, mind hacking techniques. And then he goes right into this is what you're going to get. This is the what you're going to get part. And then he has this, it's no secret. Okay. Then it says, we already reviewed this, right? If you learn how to sell, and then the way you'll be showing you on this page. So that, gets you to think, okay, well, let me see what he's talking about here. And then it says you'll have the power to create your own economy, write your own checks. Write your own checks. I guess I'd rather have somebody else write me a check, but I kind of understand what they're saying. Create your own economy. Um, I've heard that kind of used once before. I worked for somebody and I kind of had a beef with them about talking about that because um, I don't think anybody wants to deal with their own economy. Economy is pretty big. I mean, the United States is it's an economy. Why would you want to have your own economy? You want to have something. You want to have your own bank or your own something, but not economy. I don't think the economy. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. And have the freedom you've always dreamed of. Okay, freedom, dreams, beautiful. Okay, so here we got from Russell Brunson. Okay, so what I like, okay, so here, anytime you can, let's just read this and I'm going to tell you what I think about it. Okay, so no matter who sits in the White House and regardless of what the Wall Street bros are up to, learning how to sell using my ethical and legal one-to-many secrets can help you create your own personal economy, giving you the life and the career you've always dreamed of. Okay, so let's break this down. Okay, so number one, I am recording this in February of 2025. We just had an election back in November of 2024. And so he's saying, like, ignore all that stuff. Whether, the economy's good, it's bad, whoever's in the White House, it doesn't really matter. What you're going to learn is timeless. And then when he talks about your personal economy, it doesn't, who cares about the economy? This works. This always works. Okay. And then also, regardless of what the Wall Street bros are up to, which is great because you hear about that. If you watch any kind of news, they're always talking about the stock market. They're always talking about like it's a good economy, bad economy, what you should sell, don't sell, and it's all this fear-based news all the time. Um, and he's saying like this strategy works no matter what. Okay. Um, and then, emphasizing using ethical and legal one-to-many selling secrets. Okay, that's important um, because you could have strategy, and actually, you could have strategies. There's some well-known copywriters who work in the finance industry, and they're known for making millions and millions of dollars. But also, I read so many of those letters, the sales pages from financial newsletters, just selling financial newsletters, and yeah, you can make a lot of money, and you can be a really good copywriter if you could lie. If you permit yourself, or the company you work with permits you to lie, then of course you can make a lot of money, right? And they get shut down all the time, like Agora, and then some of their other companies, they got hit hard by the FTC because they cherry pick a lot of the data. They go, oh, if you invested in Apple in 1997 on February 2nd, well, yeah, that day it dipped down like at the lowest it ever dipped, and then whatever. But if you had invested, the day before or the day after, you know, um, then you would probably lose your shirt or something like that. It's a lot of that cherry picking. You go to like Microsoft. Like Microsoft, it took probably, I think it was like 15 years for it to recover, because if you bought it in 2000, literally I think the year was 2000. I mean, it was at its peak, and then it took like 15 years to recover that. But if you invested probably 8 months before 2000, or maybe even, or when it dipped back down 8 months afterwards, it wouldn't have taken you 15 years. It would have taken you maybe 10 years to recover or whatever. So these newsletters always allow you to cherry pick. These financial newsletters, they cherry pick and they lie. So if you can lie in your sales letters, your VSLs, then you are going to make a lot of sense. You're going to do very well if you just flaunt the law and you go, I don't care about being ethical. I don't care about being legal. You'd make tons of money because you can be very, very persuasive. So that's why it's very important for him to say using ethical and legal one-to-many selling secrets, because that's hard. That makes it that much harder if you have to be ethical and legal. And I know some people who work like in the health industry and they sell supplements, and then they're constantly curtailing, pulling back what they can say in supplements. Obviously you can't say can't cure anything, but you can't even use certain words. You can't use a word. You can't even say cancer in some of these, even if you were just saying it in passing, or you can't even say now Harvard is coming down on people and saying, well, you can't reference our studies in your VSL. Like, you don't even mention us, but you're like, well, all I'm doing is referencing a real study. But anyway, so it's important that they say ethical and legal. Okay. So the selling, now is this the now is this 3-day selling online challenge for you? Okay, beautiful. I like these points where they're calling out people, right? They're trying to dissuade you. Not really trying to dissuade you. They're really actually trying to include you. But if they have the appearance of excluding people, then people feel included, right? So if you exclude some people, then everybody else feels included, right? You go, those people are included. We're going to exclude those people. Well, everybody else is going to like, well, oh, I'm not in that group, so I'm included. So you feel more included. So this is another persuasive tactic, right? And it's come through the guise of we don't want to waste your time, as it says right here. It says to avoid wasting your time. I'll quickly describe the nature, mindset, and experience of the person this challenge is for. Okay, so like I said, if they can have the appearance of they're excluding some people, everybody else is going to feel included. Okay, so but if you read through all these, it pretty much includes a lot of people. Maybe somebody may go, yeah, none of these apply to me, and we'll cover that in a second. All right, let's look at these one by one. Okay, so here, we said who this is designed for. Okay, if you want more, I mean, that's kind of vague. I don't know if I would say something. I would probably say something different. But anyway, you're a business owner or marketer and currently have a product, service, or a webinar, but for whatever reason it's not converting or producing the number of sales you want, then this is for you. Okay, so that kind of covers a lot of people, right? So I mean, you wouldn't even be on this page if you probably weren't a business owner or a marketer, and then maybe have a product or service or webinar you want to sell. I mean, that covers a lot of things right there, right? So, and obviously, and it says, but for whatever reason, it's not converting and producing the number of sales you want. Yeah. So, like I said, you probably wouldn't be here if your business was going swimmingly and it was beautiful. Like, you wouldn't be here. You would be like, I don't have time for this. Everything's going really, really well. But if you're looking for like, oh man, I could probably learn some new stuff, or I'm not converting, or I need more sales, then you're probably going to be on this page and you're probably going to read what it's all about. So right now they've already said, okay, this is you, right? You're a business owner, you're a marketer. Okay. So they've covered that. So that's a big bucket of people right there. Like I said, if you're already on this page, then this is going to cover you. Okay. So the next one, if you want to be great. I love this word. I don't know. Maybe it's intentional. Like I said at the top, where we just finished an election. Donald Trump elected 2024 in November, and his whole campaign was "Make America Great." So the word "great," gets thrown around a lot. I don't know if it's a coincidence. or maybe it was intentional, but it works really well. Like, I want to be great. Everybody wants to be great. America wants to be great. So if you want to be great, yes, I would like to be great. Okay, so right now you're pretty good at making sales, but you don't want to settle for good. You want to be great. For example, you don't go to Michael Jordan to learn how to shoot a ball, but how to take your decent game to the next level. Okay, so all the people that didn't get included in here, like I said, if 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 you're if you know, if your business is not going swimmingly, um, then you would be in this bucket, right? So like I said, if you know, a lot of people, if everything's going really well, then you probably wouldn't be on this page. But for some reason you are on this page, now like you go, well, I'm not in this bucket. Like I don't, I mean, everything's going great. But but I could be better. Now I want to get up to the Michael Jordan level. So that covers kind of anybody that's left over from the first bucket. Okay. And then now it gets so those are more okay, so this is more of a general kind of person, like a demographic, like you're a marketer, you're an owner, that's a demographic. And this one's more of a psychographic, right? It's a psychology, like so it's just it could be anybody. You want to, but you want to be great. You don't want to settle for good. You want to be great. And so now we get to another demographic that's very specific. So if you're a coach of any kind and you're struggling to bring in customers who connect to your message and then take action, then this is absolutely designed and made with you in mind. Okay, so that's what it sounds like, and I think they referred to that higher. Um, about I can't remember what it was. It didn't use the word coach, but I kind of remember alluding to that's who this would work for. Okay, so this is okay. So let's just review this again. So he's saying I don't want to avoid you. I want to avoid wasting your time. So I'll just who is this for? And everybody else need not apply. Okay, so if that short list does not disqualify you, okay, so you're like, okay, I'm in that list, then please read on. So again, it's prompting you to read on. So if you're this, then you have no choice but to do this, right? If that doesn't disqualify you, then you need to read on. You know, to like a psychological motivator. That you know. So if you agree with, so it's kind of like being congruent. That's what I was thinking of. So Dr. Cialdini talks about congruency. If you do one thing, then you got to do a bigger thing. Like there's an example. I remember I was walking to a restaurant with my wife, and there was like this little wrapper on the sidewalk, and I was like, it was some litter, and I was like, oh, let me just pick it up. It was like, just pick it up and throw it in my pocket. And then I walked like 8, 10 more feet, and then there's a styrofoam cup, and I was like, oh, I don't want to pick that up. You know, I don't know where it's been. And I'm like, but I just picked up that other piece of paper. And what if somebody walked, you know, and I'm like, well, maybe someone saw me. And then now, and I just walked by this cup. So I felt like I needed to be congruent with my actions. So I picked up the paper cup. And then I think later I saw something even bigger. I'm like, okay, I'm not dealing with that. But I mean, I felt like, so that's a psychological, what actually Dr. Cialdini calls in his book, influence is one of his weapons of influence is congruency, right? And so he has an example about people using towels and there's a about voting, right? So you know, there's an example where they ask people, hey, can I put a little small sign on your door that says you'll vote for such and such? And then people go, okay. And then they come by later and go, can we put a big sign in your yard to say you're going to vote for so and so? So all the people who agreed with the little sign were more likely to agree to the bigger sign because they wanted to feel congruent. And all the people who refused the first sign or didn't even get that offer did refuse the bigger sign. And so this is like kind of being, you know, you need to be congruent. It's not so much with your actions, but like if your belief, like, you know, it's like, okay, I'm in that bucket, so I must read on. Okay, so this could be the most life-changing, important life-changing. This could be the most important game-changing event of your life. Okay, so Again, I mean, obviously we've heard that many times before. So we've definitely heard that before. These big promises. All right, since we're here at this headline, what I'm gonna do, because we're running over our 15-minute mark. I like to make these like 15 minutes just to, just easier to digest and easier to watch. So we're gonna continue this in part 4 of this video series on Russell Brunson's selling online. All right, hopefully you'll come back and I'll see you in part 4.